So, translation of 2.38: Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing you shall never incur sin. So, that is, if you see the words happiness, distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, it's indicating some kind of duality. Um, so, in the previous shloka, um, I mean, when Krishna talking about um, Arjuna was hesitant in fighting, so he's giving him the pros and cons, and he's saying what will happen. Because as a Kshatriya, he's supposed to fight. That is his duty. That is his dharma. And if if it will be shameful if he doesn't fight as a Kshatriya, that is worse than death. Um, and if he fights, even if he's killed um, in the battle, he will still go to heavenly planets. So he's telling him as a Kshatriya, don't give your determination to fight because that is what Kshatriyas are trained for. Let's see, let's get into detail. The duality. So Srila Prabhupada says that here in this material world, when we take some kind of work, when we work, we experience um, we understand that we can experience two possibilities, two outcomes. That is either loss or gain, either happiness or distress, and as the shloka says, sukha dukha, victory or its opposite, that is defeat. Prabhupada says that this is because this material world is a world of duality. Now, if you have heard any Hari Katha or anything about Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna or about the spiritual world, you would understand that in the spiritual world, everything is spiritual. The soul and the body both are spiritual in the spiritual world. All the elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, everything is spiritual there. So there is singularity in that sense. Qualitatively, the soul and everything else is of the same thing. There is no second thing. Everything is spiritual, just like the soul. Now, the soul in the spiritual world continues to be qualitatively same as the Lord, but quantitatively it always remains infinitesimal. But still, it is spiritual. There is no duality. Like here in material world, the material elements and the body, everything that is made of um, those material elements, earth, water, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, ego, all those are material, gross and subtle subtle elements, material elements. And the infinitesimal individual tiny atomic soul has its unique tiny independence and has its individual identity. But it has its own perfectness in the spiritual world. But here in this material world, taking body of the material elements and doing sense gratification, we incur karma. A soul gets covered, the mind mirror of the mind gets covered, and thus we experience this duality which we are talking of. Under the effect of the illusory energy, under the effect of this ignorance of this material world. So we understand that everything in this material world is of uh, everything that this material illusion energy, the modes, there is a mode of there is sattva gun, there is rajogun, there is tamagun. These through three gunas are there in everything. So you'll find that some things are in satogun, there are some things in rajogun, there is something in tamagun. Whether you take any literature, whether any book, any magazine, newspaper, whether you hear any kind of music or eat any kind of food, you will experience this, that it is even uh, not only the scriptures. I mean, scriptures say, and you will understand if you have some knowledge of Ayurveda also, you will see that in these three gunas and the food and everything is indicated, and then there are these effects of these three gunas. But that is the body, not the spirit soul. So soul is actually beyond these three gunas. It is in pure Shuddha state, but now under the effect of this material illusion energy. Having a material body, we experience this duality. We experience this um, pleasure, pain, happiness, sadness, loss, gain. We tend to see everything in this um, duality. So, yeah. Now, the spirit soul is transcendental in nature, whereas material nature and is transient, and so there is a mismatch. Transient means this states keep changing, temporariness of one position. It changes from um, whatever it is, it changes. So we experience this duality, and this is the mismatch. Um, the material body and spirit soul. So material nature is inert. Life is experienced in material nature because of the presence of the spirit soul in that. So we experience this consciousness in this material body, but that is coming from the spirit soul. Um, so material cannot give permanent bliss, ananda, which the spirit soul is always yearning for, searching for. That so happiness is derived from the material objects of the illusory material nature, comprising of three gunas, and this is all always temporary. So that is why again we experience this duality. Um, and hence there is further duality which is experienced. So for example, um, you buy a new car, you're very happy. This is your favorite car, a very expensive car you buy, and after some time you lose your that fondness you had, that love you had for that car. It changes. So that's the transient thing, effect of the material nature. Then you want to buy another new car maybe later. If there's some new car in the market, maybe you have one model of some car, maybe Mercedes, and then even that you get bored and then you want another higher model. So like that. So this duality you will experience. You will be happy, and then same thing you will be, you will not be finding happiness in that. I mean, you would want another one. So that is how is the effect of material nature. So Prabhupada says that again, like black, white, darkness, light, sukha, dukkha, happiness, distress, pleasure, pain. So the material world is called relative world. So the other thing works and happens or reacts in relation to it. So only if certain conditions are met, you would like it, else not. So a relative world. So in relative world, the position keeps changing. So yeah, like again, that same example of car or example of like if you eat your favorite pizza, you enjoy your first slice or another slice. Slowly, it depreciates. Uh, your fondness, your likeness, your tendency to have another slice of pizza slowly reduces, changes, and it becomes it just changes. You start disliking any further. You wouldn't want to have another slice of pizza. There will be a stage. So the same thing. So again, transient effect. There is a duality. Initially, you like it, then you don't like the same thing. Yeah. But in spiritual world, there is no such thing. Um, Even our interactions in the material world, also with people, if so and so again the effect of this relativeness in if so and so things are provided by this so and so person, and even subconsciously you will continue to like that person. If that behavior changes or your expectations are not met anytime, slowly you will start disliking that person. So again, the transient effect, the three gunas, and the relativeness of this material world. So those things are there. So example, if you take up a job, if so and so criteria is met, both from the employee and employer side, they have expectations, point of view. If so and so criteria is met, you would want to go ahead with that relationship, employee employer. Even husband wife, if somebody is looking to get married, you would have some criteria, expectations. If that is not met, um, you would not want to go ahead with that. So like that, um, that's why we see this transient effect and this relativeness in this material world. So because our thinking is under the effects of these three gunas. We are influenced by this illusory energy, and these material nature is elements, everything. The effect of it is transient, so it keeps changing the position. So same another is, if you want to invest in stock market or mutual fund, only if it has, so it give you so and so return, you would want to go ahead with it, else you would not. So same in relationships, all that. If expectations need to be met or followed, fulfilled, else it falls apart or is rendered unacceptable. So this is because of ignorance, illusion, false ego, false identity, thinking I am this body. All is for my personal material sense gratification or enjoyment. This is contrary. This is just the opposite of that how the things are in the spiritual world. Um, in spiritual world, you will find absoluteness. Your position never changes. Krishna will always be, um, you will, in your constitutional position, you'll be very clear your sambandha, your relationship, and you'll be acting in that relationship, and you will be always striving for your goal, to please Krishna, Krishna prema. And so unlike the pizza thing, if you have too much of it, you will start disliking it. In spiritual world, it doesn't. That's how the absolute thing is. If you do more of it, it will continue to give you more and more pleasure, and you will never feel any kind of lackness or deficiency in that relationship, or the effect of serving in that relationship. It only continues to grow more and more. So that is how the spiritual world is. It is absolute. Your position never changes. Krishna always be Bhagwan, just like for gopis in Madhurya Bhava, or Sudama and Subala in uh, uh, Sakya Bhava, or like that Dasya Bhava, and for Nanda Bhava and Yashoda Maya, Vatsalya Bhava. That never, their interaction in that, the prema, it never reduces, it continues to grow and grow. Again, tomorrow, if they do the same thing, they will not find any lackness, that, we did the same thing yesterday. They will not experience that thing. It will always remain fresh and continue to grow. So in absolute world or spiritual world, Prabhupada says that there are no such thing as opposite elements. There is no sadness, imperfection, or illusion. Um, so in the spiritual world, there is only one Purusha, uh, Vishnu Tattva, and all others are individual souls or potencies, that are infinitesimal or um, eternal, nitya, siddha, associates of the Lord, or so like that. So this is how it is, and they are very clear about the relationship in the absolute world, and it is always giving pleasure, and there is no sadness, there is no duality, and they have all perfect knowledge of the relationship, and they act in that eternal. They perform their eternal service, in that knowledge of the relationship. Um, and they perform their service in bhava prema for the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord, not for one's own personal sense gratification. So here Krishna is suggesting about the absolute duty, labha alabha. So when there is loss or gain, you are the same. So you remain the same, equipoised in state of equanimity. That is what um, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna. So generally in the material world, when there is gain, we are very jubilant, and when there is loss, we become morose. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna to remain equipoised in a state of equanimity, um, no matter what the situation is. As a Kshatriya, um, whether it is loss or gain, victory or defeat, um, you perform your duty. You remain in one position. So don't bother what. So this is Brahma Bhuta. When you have this realization, when you act in that realization, you remain equipoised in state of equanimity, um, overcoming this duality otherwise of this material world. So that is Brahma Bhuta stage. So that shloka in 18.54 of Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatmana Sochati Na Kankshati. A devotee is always Prasannatma. He is always happy in serving Krishna. His only business is to see Krishna happy for his pleasure, not for his own personal sense gratification. That is devotion, bhakti. And this bhakti, pure devotion for Lord Krishna, is paradharma. So we'll see more about this dharma, which Prabhupada has mentioned in many places. He has given very detail about this dharma, comparing different types, indicating very different types. So there may be loss or gain, there may be victory or defeat, there may be distress or happiness. It doesn't matter. He is not affected with this duality. Who? The devotee. He is doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna, for Krishna prema, not for his own personal sense gratification. Um, you just want to think your only business is you want to see Krishna satisfied, just like gopis, all everything for the pleasure of Krishna. So Prabhupada says that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung a song where when he says that when I work very difficult task for Krishna, that difficult task becomes very happiness for me. That difficult task becomes very happiness for me, and that is the standard of happiness because he is undertaking that task. Whether it is difficult, easy, he is very clear. He is doing it for Krishna's pleasure, for Krishna's service, service to Lord Krishna. So, there is no duality, there is no sadness, there is no duality here. So that is how it is. Whereas in material world, otherwise, under effect of this illusion energy, will find duality, which is indicated here in this shloka. Um, So in the spiritual world, in the spiritual absolute world, there is simply happiness, perfectness. It never fades, it never reduces, rather increases. So, um, so the Vraja gopis, are the pure devotees of the topmost level. They are willing to do anything for Lord Krishna. In fact, Lord Krishna says that even I can never repay your debt, what you have done for me, the love and prema you have for me. You have made so much of sacrifice, not bothering about anything. You um, because they completely surrendered to Lord Krishna in prema and left everything for him, their family, the position, everything, the relationships, children, everything, um, for Krishna prema, for the pleasure of Krishna. They were not bothered about how much difficulties they have to go through, how much bad name they are getting because of this among their family and society. So like that. So 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 yeah, that is how it is. Um, so dharma, our scriptures say that Lord Krishna's advent to this material world has two reasons: restoration of dharma, righteousness, and the protection of devotees, annihilation of evil. So that we see that as dharma, right? We know, we have heard this. So Prabhupada at many places has given, he has explained dharma, and he is explaining. So dharma, Prabhupada says that dharma means occupational duty. So we are on the, so if we are on the platform of asad dharma, just like conception of this body, that is asad dharma. This body is material and it is transient, it is temporary. Um, so body, we know that temporary, it will not exist forever. So that is asat. The material energy used to create this body is real. It is real and it is for material creation. So any dharma or any occupational duty with reference to this non-permanent body made of these material elements, because it's temporary, transient, that is asad dharma, impermanent. And asat is non-permanent, impermanent. So everyone we know that this body is not. So this body is not permanent. The body is asat. It will be destroyed. But the soul will never be destroyed. So this sad dharma means the occupational duty of the soul. That is, so sad dharma is actually the occupational duty of the soul. That is sad dharma. So bhakti, um, to have Krishna prema, that is sad dharma. That is the real dharma, eternal dharma, because the body is never destroyed. It is permanent, eternal, and alive, conscious. So, and it's real and permanent. So another place Prabhupada explains that there are two kinds of dharmas. So dharma actually means occupational duty. So here Prabhupada says dharma, there are two kinds of dharmas: pashu dharma and manav dharma. Pashu dharma means eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. And So like so we understand these things are essential when we take body, material body. We have to do these things. So we have to maintain this. So dharma actually means which you cannot give up. Dharma does not mean you accept this dharma today and tomorrow you change your dharma. That is not dharma. So dharma is actually something you cannot change. Um, uh, so dharma means the natural characteristics. Just like Prabhupada says that just like sugar is sweet, that is its dharma. Um, and chili is hot, that is its dharma. If snake bites, that is its dharma. Water is liquid, it flows, that is its dharma. Stone is solid, that is its dharma. So this is something you cannot snatch away. This is something you cannot change it. It will once in that form, once it's there, it will always be like that. So there, and then Prabhupada also says that Prabhupada in Nectar of Devotion lectures, Prabhupada is saying that you are engaged in two kinds of dharma. Some karmis, they are doing bhoga, so they are bhoga dharmi, they want to enjoy, and tyag, do perform renunciation, they want to renounce. So this is bhoga. So both of these will not help you because you are doing this uh, for your enjoyment. So seva, you have to take this dharma, this seva, this bhakti. In another shloka, Prabhupada says that Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajamam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Hmm. So, so 18.66, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. So, you are engaged in two types of dharma. So, karmis are doing bhoga, they are bhoga dharmi, they enjoy, and then when they do tyaga, they renounce, they enjoy that bhoga, that renunciation. So, this will not help. Seva is the only thing, bhakti, devotional service. And if you take that dharma of seva, that is bhakti, that is Krishna seva, and that will only, that is the real thing. Uh, so you accept that. So another is like Prahlad Maharaja, Prithu Maharaja. They were kings, very opulent kings, and Dhruva Maharaja also. So still they were great devotees, not only ordinary devotees, Mahajana. So they were Mahajanas, or great devotees. So that bhoga tyaga has no meaning. Prabhupada says that it has no benefit. Everything you do, it has to be for the pleasure of Krishna, not for your own sense gratification. So Prabhupada says the bhoga tyaga, this doing this bhoga and tyaga, again duality, this is not required. What is required is service to Krishna, seva to Krishna. So that service, it may be on the platform of bhoga or service. Service is required. Krishna service. Krishna has to be satisfied. So that is what is the real thing. So devotees are always concerned with Krishna service, nothing else. Another place Prabhupada says that um, Prabhupada says that what is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead or what is ordained by the Supreme Authority, that is dharma. So there are two kinds of dharmas, para and apara. Para means supreme or superior. Apara means the material world. So para means supreme or superior. So two kinds of dharma. Apara means this material world. Bhumir upon analo vayu kham mano buddhir evacha. So there are two natures. We understand that spiritual nature and material nature. Um, so in material world, these material elements are made of these five gross material elements and three subtle material elements. So that is the apara. Um, apara means inferior. Um, so superior dharma, para, that is spiritual. That is something. In present world, the material scientists are only busy with these material elements and discovering and coming with new philosophies every day. And they're busy in that. They don't know about the spiritual nature. They don't. try to get into exploring spiritual nature. Um, but the spiritual is para, superior, supreme, and we should be concerned with that because material is temporary, transient, and again there will be duality. Um, and even scientists, when they come up with this mental speculation, poetry, philosophy, um, that that is concoction of the mind, speculation of the mind, and again their position will change. Today they are saying something, again tomorrow they will say so and so. That position will change, and so why stick with that? It is transient, right? So why not think about spiritual? And here in the shloka, um, Lord is guiding Arjuna by indicating him this duality um, of this material world, this profit loss. As a Kshatriya, he has a duty, he's a dharma, he is indicating that, and he should not renounce that. He should fight, whether no matter what the outcome is, and again he should realize and he should understand that everything has to be done for the pleasure of Krishna. Here, Krishna wants him to fight. He wants that service from Arjuna. He wants him to fight. He is telling him. So it is best for him not just only as a Kshatriya he should fight and not bother about what will be the outcome. He should do it for the pleasure of Krishna. Uh, so he should fight. That is his dharma. So he is trying to give him this knowledge. And further we will find more detail. Uh, his doubt will be removed. And we understand that when Krishna showed his universal form to Arjuna, uh, he told him, after telling everything, all the yoga systems, this is how it is. I believe this is the best, and you should do this. It's up to you. It's your choice. He will give that conclusion. And when Krishna showed Arjuna his universal form, he actually says that whether you like it or not, he showed that all the armies, both sides, they were actually being devoured by the universal form of the Lord. Everything was going into the um, mouth of the Lord. And he said that he showed all the past, present, and future what will happen. He said, "This is already done. Uh, you can fight and claim victory. Everything is already done." So then he gave him a choice. It's up to him. He told him all the yoga systems. So it was for him to decide because Krishna always given independence. It's up to the person to use that independence wisely and not misuse that independence which Krishna has given to all spirit souls because they are part and parcel of Lord Krishna, and uh, so that is how it is. So thank you, Prabhuji Mataji. Thanks for joining. If anybody has any question, please ask before we log off. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Just like how Krishna has mentioned that irrespective of what Arjuna is going to do on the battlefield, the destiny of all of the adharmic people is already decided and done by
Hmm.
him.
Yeah.
I'm just extrapolating it to our society and ourselves. For us also, Krishna has already devoured probably all of us, and we
Uh,
are just playing our roles.
Actually,
Meaning,
no, no.
our destiny is already written, and
Hmm.
we have to kind of extrapolate that to our lives and do the best that we can with our free will.
Two things here. One, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, we understand that the purpose of Krishna is to, he comes here for the pleasure of the devotees and to annihilate the demons. When there is too much of negative aspect in society, too much of lawlessness as it was at that time. So Krishna, because Krishna is not, he is Bhagwan. So he gathered all the people on the battlefield, and in one shot, you know, and he there is a fight. This is what he wants, and he gives his credit to his devotees because they are very righteous and religious. So that was a big arrangement by the Lord.
Mm.
Um, so when he does that, this is at a very massive scale. But your question for us, if it is decided, so in Bhagavad Gita you will understand that when we take birth, we actually go through this 84 lakh species, but human species is one which has very high level of consciousness. Other species are actually bhoga, they are only doing bhoga. Whereas in a human species, because you have so they in other species like animals, other species, you are only doing sense enjoyment. You are enjoying the effects of the karma, action and reaction you performed, the action you performed in your previous lives, that you are going to bhoga, or you're going to enjoy or suffer happiness and distress, duality, for your piety, pious activities and sinful activities you will enjoy. That is what you will do in other species, the effects of the karma. But in human species you have the ability to change, like we hear from bhakti. Bhakti is so supreme that you can even counteract this past karma,
Mm.
right? You can
Okay,
so
Guruji.
there are different types of karma. There is prarabdha karma, which is little difficult. Prarabdha karma means, um, like when you say this is already decided. Prarabdha karma means the providence, the destiny. It is already decided, because from a big bag of aprarabdha karma, a small bag of prarabdha karma is taken, and then you get a body that in this life you will experience so and so thing, all the pleasure and pain. So if you did some piety, pious activities at a certain time which we don't know, but Lord knows, at a certain time in life's milestone you will experience so and so things, because of piety. Like some people are born very rich, or some people have so much of knowledge. This is again effect of um, good
Pious
deeds, pious
activities.
activities. They will take birth in so and so family, so things are done. It might look like that you are doing, what you're getting is actually because of your endeavor in this life, but actually it's already destined, right? But it doesn't mean that you should not do, but you in knowledge you should do now. All those things you should do for the pleasure of Krishna. You should not misuse all the wealth, health you have got, all the knowledge you have got. You should use it for the pleasure of Krishna.
Pleasure
That is
of
Krishna
Krishna.
seva, bhakti. Now, and then we should not use the term that we will be devoured like that. This is
Okay.
because that was at very sinful people collected at one battlefield on one side by Lord's arrangement, and righteous people on another side, and that is the arrangement in the battlefield. That was for Krishna wanted that, and it happens every time this Dwapar Yuga comes, and you will have this battle of Kurukshetra. It will happen. So that
Mm.
happens every time the creation comes in, and it will happen. So that adharmi kings will be collected, and in one shot it will be done. But then that's Krishna actually behind the scene is actually doing. He's showing it in the universal form. All so Krishna knows past, present, future. So we know Paramatma is actually the witness of all the past, present, future, and we say Kala, time, right?
Mm.
So what happens is in another place Prabhupada says that sometimes Paramatma is actually, in the previous time in the class I said that Prabhupada has said that Paramatma is sometimes called Kala, because Paramatma is actually witnessing everything what you are doing, seated in your heart. He is witnessing everything. So he is also sanctioning, if so and so, when you desire something, when you want something, or effect of your past karma you are supposed to experience, it has to be there, right? So he is witnessing everything, all your thoughts, all your desires, all that you are experiencing, he is witnessing. So Prabhupada says that Paramatma is something, sometimes say that he is Kala, that he
Mm-hmm.
says. So the Lord doesn't want you to be hurt or anything. It is the past life's karma, prarabdha karma, which we have now, this body
Mm.
destiny we call, we are supposed to experience. Um, but bhakti, because in human species you have this ability to do serve Krishna, um, and get rid of effects of past karma. Um, Also, this is possible by service or bhakti. So this is not available to other species. They are just doing bhoga. They're just enjoying the effects of past karma. They are not incurring new karma in there. But
Mm.
if we don't do bhakti or seva, we will incur new karma. Now this can be again sinful and pious. So that is what Bhagavad Gita tells us. Uh, by telling all the entire yoga system, we can come to conclusion that bhakti yoga is the best. but we have to realize it ourselves. But Krishna is giving through Bhagavad Gita all the detail. So when you have this knowledge and then you endeavor to serve in that knowledge that so and so is my constitutional position, I'm eternally a servant of the Lord, and that is um, that we know that there is sambandha, abhidheya, and priyojana, and my goal is Krishna prema. Go back home, back to God, serve Krishna. So when we take up that understanding that we are eternally servant of Krishna, and we are supposed to do the process is to serve Lord Krishna, abhidheya, and goal is Krishna prema. Go back to Godhead. Now understanding that there also we have to serve and try to achieve Krishna prema for Krishna's pleasure, not for our pleasure. And again, here while we have this, we are here, we understand this, we realize this knowledge, then we start serving here. So there is no change for devotee. Here also is serving, and when he goes back, there also is serving. The only thing is now he whatever assets, whatever material body, whatever situation he is in, he can use all that for Krishna's pleasure, for his pleasure, for his senses, not for our sense gratification. Then we don't incur karma, we don't misuse anything, and we don't incur new karma. But on and off, if we make mistakes coming into this system, Krishna is, if you surrender to him, Krishna says, guarantees that you will not suffer. That is giving guarantee. In Bhagavad Gita, I will say that. So, so we need to come to realization, yeah, that Bhakti Yoga is the best. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you so much,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna,
Thank
Mataji.
you.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. If nobody has any other questions, we'll call it a day. Log off. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji,
Hare,
thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
everyone.
Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam, pranam
Dandavat
Thank
to
you,
pranam,
Prabhuji.
everybody.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Tanvat
Jai
Pranam.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Thank you very much,
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
everyone. Jai.